Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to tell you the answers of Model Question Paper 1 for Reduced Syllabus 2021 of First PUC of the subject Business Studies. Part 1 has already been uploaded, so you can watch that video. This is the part 2 from section C. So let's start the video. Now question number 25. Activities which are meant for assisting trade are known as auxiliaries to trade. Transport, banking, insurance, warehousing, and advertising are regarded as auxiliaries to trade. These are services that help in removing various hindrances which arise in connection with the production and distribution of goods. Two such business activities that are auxiliaries to trade are transport and communication, and the second one is insurance. Other activities included as auxiliary industry are banking, finance, warehousing, and advertising. So this is the answer of question number 25. You can take the screenshot of these answers, and now we will move on to question number 26. In total, you have to answer 7 questions from this section 7. Now this is the answer of question number 26. 4 limitations of sole proprietorship firm or business organization are: the first one is unlimited liability. Sole proprietorship business is personally liable for all debts and actions of the company. The second is lack of financial control. The looser structure of a proprietorship won't require financial statements and maintaining company minutes as a corporation. The third one is lack of continuity. Illness, death, or insolvency of the proprietor can lead to closure of the business. Because sole proprietorship is a single person business, so due to illness, death, or insolvency, there will be discontinuity in the business. Thus, the continuity of business is uncertain. Next one, fourth is limited resources. The resources of a sole proprietor are always limited. Being the single owner, it is not always possible to arrange sufficient funds from his own sources. So these are the 4 limitations of sole proprietorship firm. So you can write this in point wise. The first one is unlimited liability, second lack of financial control, third is lack of continuity, and fourth is limited resources. So you can write this answer. These answers are 100% correct, so you don't have to worry for the answers. Further, if you want to add something or to modify the answers, you can. Now we will move on to next question. Now this is the answer of question number 28. Features of global enterprises. The first one is huge capital resources. These enterprises have huge financial resources. They have the ability to raise funds from different sources. The second one is foreign collaborations. With companies of the host countries, these enterprises enter into agreements. These agreements are made in respect of the sale of technology, production of goods, patents, resources, etc. Third one is advanced technology. These enterprises use advanced technology for production, hence goods and services produced by the MNCs that is multinational companies, conform the international standard and quality specifications. The fourth one is product innovations. These enterprises have efficient teams doing research and development at their own R&D centers. R&D centers means research and development centers. So these are the 4 features of the global enterprises. The first one I am repeating, huge capital resources. The second, foreign collaborations. The third one is advanced technology, and the fourth one is product innovations. Now we will move on to next question. Question number 29. Question number 29 is all about types of telecom services. So the types of telecom services are: the first one is fixed line services. The fixed line services include use of fixed services to establish linkage for long distance traffic. The second one is radio paging services. And then radio paging services is one-way information services to transmit information to persons who are mobile. Third one is cable services. Cable services are linkages and switch services available within a licensed area of operation. And the fourth and the last one is cellular mobile services. Cellular mobile services include all types of mobile telecom services. So this is the answer of question number 29, that is types of telecom services. The first one is fixed line services, second is radio paging services, third is cable services, and the fourth one is cellular mobile services. Now we will move on to next question. Now this is the answer of question number 30, that is scope of e-business. So the first one is B2B commerce. Both the parties involved in e-commerce transactions are business firms, and hence the name B2B, that is business to business. The second one is B2C commerce. B2C transactions have business firms at one end and its customers on the other end. It enables the business to remain in touch with the customers. The third one is C2C commerce. Here, the business originates from the consumer and the ultimate destination is also consumer. Thus, the name C2C commerce, that is consumer to consumer commerce. Fourth one is intra-B commerce. Here, parties involved in the electronic transactions are from within a given business firm. Hence, the name intra-B commerce. So, these are the four scope of e-business. The first one is B2B commerce, that is business to business commerce. The second one is B2C commerce, that is business to consumer commerce. Third is C2C commerce, that is consumer to consumer commerce. And the fourth and the last one is intra-B commerce. So this is the answer of question number 30. Now we will move on to question number 31. So the question number 31 is all about the steps involved in online transactions. So let's start the answer. The following are the steps involved in online transaction. So the first one is registration. The consumer has to register online on the particular website to buy a particular good or service. The customer's email ID, name, address and other details are saved and are safe with the website. Second is placing an order. When a customer likes a product or a service, he or she puts the product in the shopping cart. The buyer then proceeds to the payment option after selecting all the products. And the third one is payment. The buyer then has to select the payment option. He or she has various payment options. These payment pages are secured with a very high level encryptions so that the personal financial information that we enter stay completely secure. So these are the three steps involved in the online transaction. The first one is registration, the second is placing an order, and the third and the last one is payment. Now we will move on to next question. Next is all about memorandum of association. This is the answer of question number 32. A memorandum of association, and that is MOA, represents the charter of the company. It is a legal document prepared during the formation and registration process of a company to define its relationship with the shareholders, and it specifies the objectives for which the company has been formed. The company can undertake only those activities that are mentioned in the memorandum of association. As such, the MOA lays down the boundary beyond which the actions of the company cannot go. Memorandum of association helps the shareholders, creditors and any other person dealing with the company to know the basic rights and powers of the company. So this is the answer of question number 32, in which you have to write a note about the memorandum of association, that is MOA. So you can take the screenshot of this answer. Now we will move on to next part, that is section D. In this part we have completed 7 answers which are required as per the question paper and as per the instruction of the question paper. Now let's move on to section D. So this is the answer of section D. Question number 35. The following are some of the nature or characteristics of business risk. The first one is business risk arises due to uncertainties. The second part, Risk is an essential part of the business. The risk involved in a business can be reduced to some extent, but it is not possible to eliminate the risk involved. The third is every business has risk which varies in severity based on the types of business. Fourth is business take risk with the motive or expectations of earning profit. So these are the four natures or characteristics of business risk. Now we will move on to causes of business risk. So causes of business risk are as follows. The first one is natural causes. Natural causes of business risk include natural calamities like earthquake, tsunami, tornado, drought, etc. Second is human causes. The human causes of business risk are due to the loss of business that arise from changes in customer preferences, employee mindset, etc. So this is the answer of question number 35. Okay, we have discussed 2 points over here. Now we'll move on to further points. So this is point number 3. Economic causes. Economic causes of business risk arise from changes in the different economic factors such as increasing competition, changing market conditions, etc. So these are the answers of question number 35. Next is answer of question number 36, in which you have to write merits and demerits of partnership firm. So the merits of partnership firm areas are follows. First one is easy to start and dissolve. A partnership firm can be set up easily and quickly. The second is higher capital. Many partners invest capitals and there is higher flexibility in capital because new partner can be agreed to be associated and investing can be increased. The third one is higher innovation. Many partners use their own ideas and innovation capacity, so there is unlimited managerial ability. Fourth is better decision. There is specialization in decision taking, so there can be less chances of taking wrong decisions. So these are the 4 merits of partnership firm. The first one is easy to start and dissolve. The second is higher capital. The third one is higher innovation. And the fourth one is better decision. So now we will move on to demerits of partnership firm. So the demerits of partnership firm are, the first one is no business secrets. The partners can keep the secrets to himself, but these secrets can be known to competitors or others when there is conflict among the partners. The second one is uncertain existence. Death of any partner can sometimes cause death of entire firm. C. No personal contact. A partner can't be in a position to maintain intimate contacts with his customers and employees. And this last one, D number, is unlimited liability. Proprietor is liable for all the debts of the business. So these are the answers. And these are the demerits of partnership firm. No business secrets, uncertain existence, no personal contact, and unlimited liability. So if you want further answers, you can comment down below, or if you want to get the answers of other subjects, then you can also comment down in the comment section. And you can also visit the community post if you want to poll or to mention some other subject. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Please do like this video, because it will hardly take 1 second, and don't forget to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon for further notifications and for answers of further videos. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.